I got infinity money. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Wait 1 second.
Why are we
I'm not going to be able to see Earl's face, but that's okay. I can imagine it.
We are going over parlays. Is that what we're doing?
1 second. Like literally 30 seconds.
Oh my
30
gosh.
Start a timer.
Start a timer.
Yeah, start it.
We're gonna wait for Earl.
Oh, they changed LeBron.
Damn.
They changed them from 25.5 to 26.5, and I'm not. It's a mental game. I'm not doing it. I'm gonna do it because it's LeBron. All right, Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler plays Brooklyn tonight after dropping like 22 yesterday. I wouldn't take the over. I wouldn't take the over for Jimmy Butler tonight.
Didn't you lose all your picks yesterday?
Yeah, but it was literally like by one, bro. I swear to God, it was like by one thing, and it always. I just know so far that I'm gonna go see them next Tuesday, and apparently it's an in-season tournament against the Hornets. The Hornets have been really good, so I'm scared, but in the sense where I do think we could still catch the W. But this time they're gonna have Miles Bridges, and Miles Bridges is slowly coming back to the person that he used to, minus the allegation aspect.
Oh, we're live now?
Yeah, now we're live. But I was gonna say, like, I don't know. I think it might be a little bit harder against the Hornets, but who knows? Maybe they're like willing to like sell this game. So I guess we'll see what happens.
Hornets are 5-9. They don't need any help selling. But
yeah, I mean, I feel like LaMelo Ball and Miles Bridges are gonna start pushing like mid-season. Just watch it happen. Once they're like fully healthy, I feel like they're gonna make a good relative push to where they're maybe in the play-in, but they're gonna be right in that last position to right out of the play-in spot. I feel like personally.
All right. We should do a formal intro here.
And hello, everybody. Welcome to the Beyond the Backboard Podcast, episode 13. My name is Omar. That is Earl. That is Max. We're a little late with this podcast. We know we usually post earlier, but life happens and shit happens. So you're getting this podcast 4 days late? Is it 4 days?
Technically,
3 days. 3 days.
Is it really late, or do we just put out the content when it's supposed to happen?
We did want to save some games for this week, and also we wanted to wait for some allegations to come out officially, but we're not going to touch on that right now because we all know what we're talking about. But I want to talk about mainly about last night's game, because in the heat of the moment, I was not upset. I was happy, but I was still down. And that's when I realized, do not sports gamble on your favorite team.
Yep.
Let me tell you.
Don't gamble on your team.
He's pretty much the only person in the universe who doesn't know that rule.
No, I figured out that rule the unfortunate route. But I bet on the Knicks in Miami last night, and and of course I can't say the parlay because FanDuel is under construction at the moment. I'm trying to go back and say my parlay. But no, so I was really happy, don't get me wrong, that the Knicks ended up winning against Miami. It's obviously a team that we showed to have struggle against in the playoffs, and to see that we can overcome that team really sold me on the fact that we got better. So I'm really excited for what the season has to hold in that aspect. But I want to ask you guys, and I want to kind of towards this conversation towards the end of the game, where Jalen Brunson, he came up to the microphone and he said that originally he was gonna give some BS answer, I feel like, because that's the way it looked like it was going. But then he was just like, man, you know what? I looked at a fan, he said this shit is embarrassing, and then I just went off. I swear to God, it was like the reporter asked him, what motivated you tonight to get in the groove of things? And he was like, man, you know what? Like, I just saw this fan in the audience, and he said, that shit's embarrassing. This is embarrassing. And then he was just like, that really sold me. He was racked. Like, his head was rocked at that point. Go for it.
So, Knicks plan is to embarrass their fans first and then play right because they owed them this game in the first place. And then when glory and praise from social media, I'm not buying it. No, I'm just playing. Just doing it. Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of that quote that Paul George said like early on in the offseason about how what was it, Paul George? I forget. It was somebody who said it like early in the offseason that there's always gonna be that one game that's on League Pass on a Monday. And you want to go out there and show out for every game you play. Like, it's not fair to the fans to have to pay a lot of money to go see a game and you play awful. So
I think
it kind of reminds me of that quote.
I think it was Paul George.
Just
I think it was on Podcast P.
Yep. Shout out to Podcast P. I'm one of the best out there. But yeah, it just reminds me of that. Like, you always want to put on a show for fans, or you have another Zach LaVine Bull situation where he gets upset and storms off the court because he did his job and played good, and he was mad because the fans were booing him. Like, it just happens. Nobody wants to go to a game and watch their team just play awful. Like, as a Lakers fan, it will suck if I paid a lot of money. Lakers tickets are expensive, and my Lakers, like, if I pay for a game to go see the Magic something versus Lakers and we lose by like 25 plus or whatever, I'm sick. Same with the Rockets. So I think it's just about going out there playing with effort. Shout out to Brunson for actually just dropping the media PR stunt and just going straight for it. Hey, I looked at the fan. He was saying you sucked, and I wanted to put on a better show for him. I love it. That's why I'm not the biggest Knicks fan, but Jalen Brunson, he's cool in my book for real.
Yeah, I mean, it's ironic because Brunson is typically like the most media PR answer person you've ever seen. Yeah. Like, you can tell he's the son of an NBA player because he's just had these canned answers like off rip, ready to go for like his entire career, and especially since he's been getting interviewed more lately. Like, he gives the most like straight line, just want to help the team, thankful for the fans, you know, the most bland answers ever. But once in a while, he just sprinkles in a little something. So that was kind of cool to see a little more personality from Jalen. Do I believe that the answer to winning every game is just looking at a disappointed fan's eyes and like going for 40? That's probably not sustainable, but I'm glad that it happened in this one game because it was nice to beat Miami. Like I said, they took us apart in the playoffs last year, so it's nice to get a little revenge on them. Obviously, they still don't have Tyler Hero, so they're not at full strength. And the fact that they were up by 21 on us at home without Tyler Hero and we're fully healthy is a little concerning. Like, I can't lie. I think the Heat were the better team last night. I don't think that's a controversial statement to make. Yeah. Like, you go up by 21, you got a convincing lead in the fourth. It's, they played a better game overall. We got hot at the right time. We had Brunson came through. We had Barrett come through. We had Quickly come through. It was a really good stretch to end the game, and it was nice to see the Knicks be on the good side of like a late game comeback versus like the bad side, which we were on for years. We're always giving up late game leads. It was nice to be on the receiving end of that for once. It was nice to see Butler brick that three. That looked good, honestly. That would have been a heartbreaking way to lose if Jimmy daggers us at the end with like a step back crazy three. He said he's going to make the next one. He probably will because Jimmy Butler's that guy. But it is, I'd be lying if I said obviously, of course, I'm happy. Of course, I love that we won. It was a big win for us. Helps us out a lot in the East. We're kind of in that middle of the pack right now. We're trying to break into that upper echelon with the Bostons and the Phillies and the Milwaukees and apparently the Orlandos of the world. We'll probably talk about them later in the episode.
Yeah, right?
But, yeah, it helps in that race. It helps us get closer to Miami in the standings. There's in-season tournament implications. Honestly, I couldn't care less. We're not going to make the in-season tournament. But, yeah, I think, the case in point of that game was that we need to play better. We got away with one. We got lucky. Miami let their foot off the gas 5 minutes early. We took advantage, which is cool, which was great. Again, fantastic final 5 minutes. One of the best stretches of the whole season so far. But if we want to win games consistently, if we really want to be serious about contending in the East and making a deep playoff run, we got to do better than this against like the top teams. We got to show that we can compete for 4 quarters, not just, get blown out in the first 3.5 quarters and then make a miraculous run because, this run is not going to happen most times. So I think we still got some things to figure out. Nice that we made the comeback, but ultimately next time we play Miami, I'm going to be looking for a better 48-minute performance. That's kind of what makes winning basketball teams is being able to play and compete for the whole game. Yeah. You're not going to always be able to pull these comebacks off. But,
definitely.
I'm glad that it happened, but I'm not too optimistic about the first 3 quarters of that game. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree, and I saw that like I feel like we played our worst type of defense that we've seen all season in that first 3 quarters, I gotta say. The Knicks defense is usually a top 2, top 3 net rating in the league, and I've done the actual calculations myself. I went on StatMuse and I did the actual calculation. I went through every single team and took their points and divided it and got a certain answer that was correct. And I know Earl's looking at me like I'm crazy, but that's how you get averages. You divide it by how many games you get. It's easy. It's really
Don't
not
mind
that.
me. I'm just doing Omar math.
No, it's you call it Omar. You call it Omar math, but that's how shit works. So I'm not even mad.
I'm just saying, if you guys look back on episode,
Like, I don't know what you want me to say.
Numbers thrown out by Omar that I fact checked live, and they were just 100% far from the truth.
Okay,
Well, I'll take your word from here.
No, you're not.
My guy.
No, you're not. Because I went under the thing and I went in our group chat and I was like, I did the math myself. I literally screenshotted my calculator and sent it to the chat. I was like, yep, this is the right net rating. StatMuse is slightly higher. So
Do you remember this, Max?
I'll be dead honest, I don't, but I also don't remember. I don't pay attention to a lot of things that happen in that chat.
If two people don't remember this chat,
I kind of just scroll past. So
maybe it was a different chat, Omar. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do not remember it.
I gotta look because it's definitely there.
We'll reference it.
Yeah.
While Omar's pulling that up, Earl, do you have any thoughts kind of on like the games last night aside from the Knicks Heat? Obviously, that's going to be the standout because of the great comeback. But anything else? I know Warriors Spurs had a good game, came down to the wire. But anything else from last night playing games?
Yeah, bro. Pelicans versus Clippers, bro. Really, really great game. I literally seen Zion manhandle James Harden. It was literally made my whole night. Basically, I said Zion. Basically, Zion, he was going up for a little floater. He misses the floater. James Harden gets the rebound. Zion says, boom, yeets it out of his hand and just goes up for a layup and just walks over him and just looks down like, yeah. And then James Harden's looking up like a little scared little lost kid. It looked crazy. Like, I need to see the picture. I got to get that picture hanging on the wall. Low key, I'm not even gassing it. It looked crazy. But yeah, they look nice. I think Zion had 33. Brandon Ingram had 35. And the way both of those guys are playing off each other, it just looks like beautiful basketball. Brandon Ingram's getting to his spots in his mid-range, checking the fades, getting to the paint, hitting threes. Zion is collapsing the defense, forcing double teams, kicking it out. Like, they just work so well together. And you would think a guy who's just straight dominant in the paint like Zion, you would think his game is kind of limited, right? No, like he's super efficient at just getting to the rim because nobody can stop him. Like lobs, just take you off the drive. I mean, we talked about it before in the podcast, how he was like manhandling Julius Randle. And we all know Julius Randle is a guy who kind of prides himself on his strength. Like he's a guy who likes to play bully ball at times, but Zion was literally just running through him. And I'm really happy that we're able to see like a healthy Zion this season. No injuries so far. I'm happy about that. And he's playing great, man. He's playing like the efficient player he was. I think the year where he played almost a full season, he led the league in like paint efficiency, and we're kind of seeing that again. But I think healthy Zion is just great for the NBA, man. Like I love what I'm seeing. He's playing with a lot of energy, and it's just good basketball overall. The Pelicans look really good. I don't know if CJ McCollum was playing. Oh yeah, he's not playing. Yeah, that was so impressive too. Like CJ McCollum's still out. Obviously, he has a heart problem. Hopefully, he's doing better in his progress.
Prayers up.
Is it not a lung problem? I think it's a lung problem.
Oh, lung. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, collapse lung. Yes.
Collapse lung. My bad. He had a lung problem, but I think he's working towards getting back. But right now, Zion and BI, they're holding it down. So shout out to the boys.
Yeah, shout out to the boys. And I just want to say I found it relatively easily. If you go to the things that I liked in our chat, Earl, you will see that I commented on the fact that the best defenses in the NBA, the top four are Minnesota, New York, Orlando, Denver, and Denver, yeah. And Minnesota is the highest at the moment.
I mean, that does check. They're all kind of...
With 101 points allowed, and the Knicks are right next to them with 102 points allowed. And then I decided to go on other sources to maybe see if this was correct. I went to StatMuse, which said that the New York Knicks ended up allowing 105.3 points. So then when I did the math, it came out to 102.75, which is the original which was the original thing that this website had. I forgot what this website is called. It's called
wonder.
It's called lineups.com. So then when I did my own math and saw that, I was like, oh shit, StatMuse inflates the hell out of their stats.
But
okay. I
was
don't know
it
about
updated
all
though?
that, but I feel like maybe
currently it's not updated. I'm just looking on what
Yeah.
I sent.
I don't know. I get what you mean.
This was November 9th at around probably 9:45.
maybe they're including preseason. That might be why.
No, I don't. Yeah, StatMuse maybe.
Or maybe they're
StatMuse
including
maybe.
like you said that was from November 9th, so maybe.
Yeah,
Well, there's been a lot of games since then, so the average probably just bumped up a little bit.
yeah, definitely.
honestly.
I'm actually gonna look it up right now. Lineups.com.
Oh, well, but Omar, weren't you comparing it? Like the pictures are from that day, right? It's, you calculated our defensive rating that day, and then looked at StatMuse defensive rating. That day.
I thought you were talking about.
Yeah, that was the contrast I was trying to make. That StatMuse inflates their stats. That was the whole point of my message.
So your pride source of stats is wrong.
Omar, dude,
the people. I like it though.
See, I'm
Omar
a man.
turned to
I'm
the
a
light
man.
side.
I'm a man of the people. If I find my stats are wrong, I'm not gonna use those stats again. That's like putting your hand on an oven and putting your hand there again after you burn yourself. Like, what the hell are you doing, man? Stay away from it.
Omar, it's ironic with your parlays, but good point.
Bro, yo, I don't even want to talk
Omar,
about how many of my parlays are this close to hitting most of the time. It's frustrating. It's frustrating.
Omar, you're like the guy who thinks he's cooking, but you're literally boiling noodles with no water in it. That's what's going on right now.
Man.
Listen, we can clown Omar, but earlier this week he did hit a $450 payout parlay.
That is
I
true,
did.
and he did buy PlayStation with it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man's had the most crazy 80 leg parlay. He needed
It was
85
18 leg parlay, yo.
over in the what was it? The Philly. It was Philly Cleveland, I think.
Yeah,
right?
it was
the
Philly
Philly game on
Cleveland.
Wednesday?
It was Philly.
What'd you put on that?
Cleveland on Wednesday.
I
And
put-
What'd you put on that?
Okay, so I'm gonna read the bet now. So I put $10 on it, and I won $450.
Bro, you should have put 50, bro.
I should have. But hear me.
trusted yourself.
So hear me this. So I did $10 wager for $450. Tobias Harris, 15 plus points. Darius Garland, 20 plus points. Tyrese Maxey, 20 plus points. Joel Embiid, 25 plus points. Jarrett Allen, 6 plus rebounds. Evan Mobley, 6 plus rebounds. Joel Embiid, 10 plus rebounds. Darius Garland, 8 plus assists. 6 plus assists. I'm sorry, 6 plus assists. And he got 8. I'm sorry, that's where I mixed it up. But Tyrese Maxey, 6 plus assists. Which was the deciding factor on me getting the money, by the way. Like, Tobias Harris made that shot, and I love Tobias Harris for that. Tobias Harris make 1 3. Darius Garland make 2 threes. And then Tyrese Maxey make 3 threes. And then I win.
there you go.
Nice.
So set up
Yeah,
your
well-
next parlay, boys. Come to your boy. Come to your boy. Nah, I'm
He's
playing.
on a cold streak, boys.
Yeah, I am on a cold streak. Well, it's my boys' picks, but like we share picks in our little like thing. So
Wow, so you're throwing your boy under the bus is crazy.
no, of course not, because he won that. He won that pick though. So we're not really on a cold streak either. It's just the ones that I decided to bet on because he put other ones on other bets and he won those bets. Like respectively, he just got the ones that I didn't. So it's one of those situations. But I'm not
Low-key,
here.
for how many legs you had. For how many legs you had to that parlay, they should have paid you more. That was an insane amount of things that had to go your way. Like the likelihood of all those hitting in one game has to be so astronomically
do you
small.
know-
Bro, Tyrese Maxey literally hit the last assist at like 30 seconds into overtime.
Do you know what it
We
would've
were
hit
we
if
were
it was,
playing
like-
Fortnite, Max. You remember? I was like, I hit because Tobias Harris hit the 3 and got an and 1.
Do you know what it would have been if you would have put like more on it? Like if you put like 50 on it, what would it have been? Like something crazy, right?
I mean, 5 times greater, right?
Yeah.
Probably
Or just,
over
like,
probably
multiply
over
better than that.
probably over $2,000, yeah.
It would have been 2350 ish, right?
Yeah, probably.
Oh yeah, you're right. Because I don't think the odds don't change
2250.
by the amount
2250.
of money you put. It's just based on
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
it's just a multiplier.
It's
So I
just-
think it would have been 2,250 if my math is wrong. I'm not a math major by any means. I'm not Omar. I don't have my calculator. I'm not doing this.
I don't have my calculator, bro. It's really not that hard to do it. It's really
he
just
does it in
not.
his head. He's just like that. Omar stats. Omar math. I told you, it's a blessing.
It's not Omar math. It's doing thing. It's like paying attention in school and just like.
No, that's a compliment. Omar math is literally the standard.
Okay, so the stats have been updated. The stats have been updated.
Are they accurate now?
No, I went on the same website that I found that, like, when I did the math, I found out they were correct. So I went back to their website. So the best defense in the league. First, I want to take guesses first. What do you guys think? Who do you think it is?
For best defense?
Best defense in the league.
The Magic, right?
Minnesota. Although the way you're smiling probably tells me the Knicks, but
No.
The Magic.
I'll tell you the Knicks are still second.
Okay.
The Magic.
Minnesota or the Thunder?
The Houston Rockets.
Wow.
The Houston Rockets have held opponents to 104.4 points.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, especially considering the Rockets are like a mid-pack team right now in the West. Like, they're not bad. They're definitely overperforming most people's expectations. But
to be fair, we probably helped inflate that stat with that terrible game we played against them. No, my bad, NBA. That's on the Lakers. My bad, guys.
But right under them is the New York Knicks, allowing 105.3 points, and then right under them in third place is the Magic, 106.8. And
so I guess top 3.
And then right under them is the Minnesota Timberwolves at 107 points allowed.
So you mean to tell me that your offense is just not good?
I mean,
you're not winning games.
What do you mean we're not winning games?
I'm just joking.
I was about to say I'm pretty sure we won we're 5-1 in the past 6 games. Am I wrong?
I don't know. I don't keep up with Knicks.
I'm gonna double check right now.
You double check. I mean, yeah, listen,
we're 7-3 in the past 10.
Yeah, I think that's
the
right.
Magic. The Magic are number 2 right now. The Magic are in the 2 seed right now. The Bucks are right under them. I feel like we can beat the Sixers, to be completely honest.
It's tough. It's because Embiid's a really bad matchup for Mitchell Robinson because Mitchell Robinson really struggles against any sort of center that does not play entirely within the paint. So
yeah,
our only hope of holding Embiid under 50 points would be Isaiah Hartenstein, and you really don't want Hartenstein playing 50 minutes a game in order to stop Embiid because Mitch would get absolutely swallowed by Embiid, respectfully.
Would it be so crazy to let's entertain the idea of, because when I look at stats all around, I see Isaiah Hartenstein. He's always just a center. He doesn't move to the power forward position at all. He is strictly a center. What if Tom Thibodeau entertained the idea of moving him to the power forward spot?
It wouldn't work.
It
would not work. You can't have 2 non-shooters like that. You can't have Mitchell Robinson and Hartenstein out there. They can't. Then the spacing would be absolutely dead. The teams would just pack the paint.
Tom Thibodeau tends to hold a lot of our guys a little more than they should be. I feel like Quentin Grimes, if he gets up more shots, he can hit 5 out of 10 at least. I don't know. It feels like we're taking a lot of shots away from RJ Barrett. It feels like we're taking a lot of shots away from Quentin Grimes, who have both been proven to be good players this season. So
Grimes has struggled this season. Admittedly, he has had a rough season. His numbers are down.
Yeah.
But I think it's tough to get your shot going when you're a shooter and you're a catch and shoot guy. It's tough to get your shot going when you only get 1 shot a quarter and you're only touching the ball 3 times a quarter. And so I sympathize with Grimes. He really gets royally screwed in the system because all the shots go to Randall and Brunson and Barrett, and he's just kind of left there twiddling his thumbs in the corner. And
it's unfortunate, because it's now his main purpose to being on the floor is guarding the best person on the floor, aka Jimmy Butler.
Right, which he still does great. He still does a great job.
Yeah, look, even though we caught the dub, Jimmy Butler dropped 23 on him, I think, or 25.
You take that.
I'll take it. But I mean, I don't know. It's not the most impressive thing, especially because in recent months we've seen Jimmy Butler drop let's say 30 points, and the next game he'll drop 10. So,
right, but I mean, it's not an isolated case. Grimes has shown he's done a great job all year of guarding the best guys. He's guarded Donovan Mitchell. He's guarded him really well. He's guarded Tatum and Paul George to the best of his ability. It's tough because a lot of times he gets matched up against guys taller than him.
Yeah.
So, it's tough to make up for that 4 or 5 inch height difference. But when he plays guys relatively his size, even the superstars, like the Garlands and the Trae Youngs and the Donovan Mitchells, he does a fantastic job.
Yeah,
But
he locks them
as a Knicks fan, I really wish he would get more involved in the offense. But that's another story for another day here.
Julius Randle, it all starts with him, unfortunately, and I know I'm wearing a jersey.
And
I know I'm wearing a jersey, but unfortunately it all starts with Julius Randle. Look, I've been a fan of obviously getting Embiid and like proposing this trade over and over again in our podcast with Julius Randle. Obviously, it's not going to happen as of now, at least if somehow the Philadelphia 76ers fall off completely, which I don't see happening. But I digress. But the best thing to do right now is to start building our bench a little bit because it looks like we're going to lose Emmanuel quickly.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that. I think we're going to try and re-sign him, but
we're going to try and re-sign him, but like we're not going to sign him for over $100 million, so he's definitely going to go back into free agency. Let's say the Suns pay him $100 million plus for 5 years, and
where are the Suns getting that money from?
Yeah, right. But they.
I
don't know.
We can talk about quickly.
But no, we could talk about the Suns all day because they're already over the second apron of the tax. But
deadline. Just throwing in another 100, I don't even think that's possible.
I don't even think so.
Aprons aside. It's not possible.
They thought about bringing back Damian Lillard. They thought about like trying to trade for Dame Lillard, the Suns. I don't know why they even tried that because they don't have any first round picks to give, and
that would have been a wild trade.
Who would give up for like pennies on the dollar?
We'll give you Josh Jacoby. We'll give you Josh Jacoby and like some of our Phoenix 110-degree heat. We'll give you 5 degrees of heat.
Bam is ruled out tonight for the Heat. Just some breaking news.
Yeah, I saw that. It's his hip, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Can I just say, Bam Adebayo is the most illegal picks in the NBA. It's absolutely obscene. The way that he sticks his leg out and sticks. No wonder his hip. He's out because of his hip.
That's why they call him for moving screens all the time.
No, they don't call it though. They never call it.
They didn't call it last night. They don't call it.
He does it every single possession, or else they would never have gotten a shot up last night if they called it every time. Because every single pick he sets, he sticks his leg out to one side of the country, and he sticks his other hip out to like California. So no wonder his hip. He's out because of his hip. Because people are running into his hip all the time, setting illegal picks. Sorry, I had to bang that drum. Bam Adebayo, the most illegal pick setter. You actually watch Bam Adebayo play. He sets the most obscene picks that just like ruin plays for defenders.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, he took Quentin off Jimmy Butler off of this one play I saw there.
Because they're illegal picks, of course.
Yeah, I just saw him like Quentin try to wrap around him like,
listen, you gotta
get out of my way, buddy.
Like, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You do gotta do what you gotta do, and I respect it, but you gotta keep it legal.
Speaking of doing what you gotta do. There's one team that's just standing out to me right now as I'm looking at the standings is the Chicago Bulls.
Really?
They are 13th in the East right now.
You're surprised?
5-12.
You're surprised.
Listen, they're surrounded by the Hornets, the Wizards, and the Pistons.
I
think
suck.
We all kind of had those three penciled in as like
suck.
The weakest teams in the East. But for Chicago to be right there, I knew they wouldn't be great. I didn't have them making the playoffs, but I did not have them this low.
Chicago does not know how to play selfless basketball. They needed Lonzo Ball to be able to play that selfless basketball, but now that they don't, it feels like they're so disconnected. That players' only meeting that they had was, I'm sorry to say, it seems like complete BS now, because now all it seems like is they're going on a losing tour, and just, I don't know, are they holding back their players? Because they're good, but they can't finish.
I mean, it's tough because if you look at a team with that much talent, you say you've still got DeRozan, who's still very much, a great offensive player at this point in his career. He still give you 25 any given night. You've got Levine in his prime, just paid him a max deal. Obviously extremely talented, extremely athletic, can shoot the three, can get to the basket, play some defense. You've got Nikola Vucevic, who is probably in the twilight of his prime, but still I'd say, better than average NBA center. Like, those three alone, you should not be losing this many games. We're on a 3-game losing streak right now, 5-12. You figure those guys alone should get you to at least around.
They don't care about each other.
Instead of playing. But right now, I mean, they're behind like Charlotte and Brooklyn, which
they
by
don't
the
care
way,
about
I
each other.
predicted Brooklyn would not be good.
They don't care about each other, man.
Chicago's really struggled right now.
They don't care about each other. They don't care about their game. They don't care about their performance because Chicago already came out and said we're gonna blow up this team and we're actively looking for trades for everybody. So if you're DeMar DeRozan, who seemingly hasn't said a word about anything because he's just been in whatever situation, and it doesn't seem like he's saying a word. He never requested a trade to my knowledge. Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Publicly.
So imagine at this point DeRozan is just sitting there like, okay, he's injured. He's not going to come back.
Yep.
Okay, he's requesting out. Why the hell should I try? Trade me too.
I mean, I can't lie. You do have a point. It's tough. I gotta imagine it's tough on the players knowing that like they're in these.
It's like, why would they even try if they're not gonna get anywhere? Because unfortunately, what the case is, DeMar DeRozan is 35 years old. He cannot carry the Chicago Bulls. I'm sorry. With respect for everything that he's done in the league, with everything that he's done in the Toronto Raptors, with everything he's done for across the league, pretty much, he's not that guy anymore. I'm sorry. He's 35 years old. He's not gonna get it done. And that's just simply what it comes down to.
Yeah. I just feel like the Bulls, they're just hey, hold on. I'm trying to think about as respectfully as I can say this.
It's a tough situation. We all know that. When the players are in trade rumors and the team's losing, it's
the
tough
Bulls, they're the worst team in the NBA.
Oh, 100%.
No, they are.
Yeah.
Statistically not true, but okay.
No, I'm just saying, like, they're the worst team in the NBA. They have no future. Everybody on that roster is pretty much going to be moved. After that, what are you left with? You have a huge contract in Vucevic you have to deal with. Zach LaVine also has a huge contract. Some teams can trade for him, but, I mean, not a lot of teams can take on that money. DeMar DeRozan, probably reliably movable. Alex Caruso, he's a really skilled guy who probably is their best valued like trade asset. A lot of guys want a Caruso player on their team, so that's the best thing they got going for him. But after that, like, what do you have? Patrick Williams, who wants $200+ million for being an average type NBA player. No offense to him, the numbers don't lie. You have Kobe White, who I feel like, yeah, he's playing decent, but like I don't even know if he's worth that contract he just signed. Respectfully, it's just they made a lot of questionable decisions as far as like front office moves. So to me, like when I compare them to teams like even like the Wizards, like they're not doing the best right now, but guys on that roster, I feel like they can get better. Like even the Pistons, they got young talents like Cade Cunningham. He's a great player, just playing as a team. They're just playing terrible. Like they have pieces that can be built for the future. I just don't see that with the Bulls right now. Like it's just a tough spot to be a Bulls fan. And I hate to say it, Bulls peaked. They had the Jordan era. They had the Derrick Rose era, Altus Gilmore back in the day. Like, they've just passed their level of relevancy right now, currently. And I'm sorry, Bulls fans, you can attack me, whatever. Oh, we got six in a row with MJ. Yeah, that's over. It's gone. What are you guys now? A property franchise with arguably, like, stars in your team, and you guys can't win games? You have the Magic. A team of all young 20-year-olds working together, hustling every single play, second in the East. You guys lost on the ball, which I feel like, yes, is a big problem. But at the end of the day, your team is full of veteran NBA players, and you guys can't buy more than, 4 wins? Like, that's pitiful, bro.
That is upsetting.
And, like, you got, like I said, like, Wizards, I'll give them slightly, but, like, you got Jordan Poole. You brought in all these different guys. You're kind of in a transition phase between tanking, not tanking, rebuilding, not rebuilding. Cool. They just got this team. The Bulls have had this team for last 2.5-ish years. So they've had time to just learn how to play basketball. The things they're doing is just sad. Like Zach LaVine's getting mad because fans are booing because you guys are playing awful. And then he gets mad. He catches the attitude, leaves the court, bumping into the system, whatever. I don't know the whole situation, but like I don't know, bro. It's just like nobody's there. Like Omar said, like these guys, they're hearing reports. You're actively getting traded, blah 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 blah, and they're just going out there doing cardio, straight up cardio. Healthiest players in the NBA right now. Oh, they're all fit. Zach LaVine, I checked Twitter. Oh, Zach LaVine's got 33. DeMar's got 30 something. Did they win?
No,
probably not. It's just that's Bulls basketball right now. They're literally auditioning for other teams. Hey, if I got the ball, I'm putting it up. I'm the only crazy plays I've seen in the last couple games was that DeMar DeRozan 360 pass. But even that 360 pass couldn't say that franchise. So I'm sorry. Sorry for the slight Bulls rant, but
no,
they're probably,
it's
as
justified.
far as, like, potential, they're the worst NBA team as far as what they're doing now and their hope for the future, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Record is high.
I wouldn't say they're the worst team just simply because they do have the talent. They have 2 or 3 guys that can put up 30 in a night, and there's a few franchises that just don't have that. But I would agree they're in the worst position. If we're just talking about like positioning themselves for now and for the future, like they have the least direction and the least promise that they'll be good in the next 3, 4, 5 years. So I would say they're probably worst positioned. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Bulls have been upsetting, to say the least. Would you guys like to hear the top 15 players in the league according to NBA.com?
I already know 14 of them.
I guess. Both Tyrese's better be up there, by the way.
Tyrese, who and who?
Tyrese Maxey should not be, but Tyrese Halliburton should be in contention for top 15.
How much is he averaging?
Okay, who do you guys guess for number 1?
I mean, it doesn't matter. Just
Luka.
I mean, just go through the first 5. I mean, Tatum, Embiid, Luka, Giannis.
Right?
Kevin Durant at number 1.
Okay, that's a little wild, actually.
Luka Doncic is number 2. Nikola Jokic at number 3. Joel Embiid at number 4. Steph Curry at number 5. Giannis at number 6. Jason at number 7. Shea at number 8. Edwards at 9. Maxey at 10.
Where's LeBron?
LeBron James at 11. Desmond Bane at 12. Jalen Brunson at 13. LaMelo Ball at 13. Why do they have 2 13s?
Because they can't count because they knew this list.
They marked this so retardedly. I'm sorry, no. They marked this stupidly. They put Jalen Brunson 13, LaMelo Ball 13, Lauri Markkanen 15, Paul George 15, Zach LaVine 15, Tyrese Halliburton 18, Kyle Kuzma 19.
Where is Anthony Davis? Stop it.
Where is this list?
This is Anthony. I swear to God, this is.
Where is
this
Anthony
is
Davis?
NBA.com. This is NBA.com.
I know he had 1 or 2 bad games, but his averages are insane.
He is at 26.
Where is Anthony Davis?
He's at 26. He is right under Karl Anthony Towns.
26 under Cat is insane.
He's under Cat. He's under Trey. He's under DeMar. He's under Jeremy Grant.
All right, guys, this has been a good show.
He's under Cade Cunningham.
No.
What? Kyle Kuzma?
Omar, is this the MVP race list or what is this?
I swear to God, this is the NBA.com. Okay,
what is
wait.
the list called?
It said totals. It said
totals. What?
It said totals. But okay.
What does that mean?
Okay, wait. I think I found the true list. I think that was a lie. Wait.
How is it a lie? What are we saying?
It said totals, and then I refreshed it, and then there's only slight changes to the list. Like Joel Embiid's at number 1, Kevin Durant at 2, Luka 3, Shea 4, De'Aaron 5, Steph Curry 6, Giannis at 7, 8 Devin Booker. What?
Bro, Devin Booker and Fox missed significant time, by the way, too.
Yeah, why are they
if we're going off
there?
of stats? Of course they're inflated because they haven't played as many games as the other guys.
All right. Devin Booker,
but Omar, what
Donovan
is the
Mitchell.
List of? What
No,
is the title of the list?
Ignore what I said because apparently it was okay. So it was the 2023-2024 season, regular season. Instead of per game, I said totals.
For what? Total what?
It just says totals. I promise you.
What does that mean?
It says. Oh my gosh.
Then what is the point of this list, Omar? Why are we listening?
I guess it says point totals. Point totals. That's what it has on there.
There we go. That changes the whole conversation a little bit.
Point totals.
Yeah.
The one that I was reading before was point totals.
Time out. How did this go from the top 15 players in the NBA to the
Yeah.
top 20 players in the NBA to
point
totals to total points? Omar, how did we go from
Because this is what it says. Okay, this is what it says. I'm looking at per mode. If you guys go to NBA.com, it'll show you stats. I go under stats. It says 2023, 2024. Then it says season type. It says regular season. Then per mode. It says per mode, the next mode. In that per mode, I accidentally clicked the first option, which was totals. It just says totals. It doesn't say season totals. It doesn't say anything else. It just says totals.
That makes no
Omar,
sense.
Bro, go under the website and look for yourselves. I promise you I am not bugging.
I'm sure you're not, but you're bugging. You just read us a ridiculously random and incompetent and dumb list. Why are we talking about
it must be. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm looking at the numbers. It looks like it's point totals.
He's seen Jalen Brunson's name and he started geeking out.
Yeah, I was like, what? But
oh my gosh, he's in top 15 in the NBA. Let's read this list.
Let me go back because this is per game. Let me go back because this is per game.
No. We don't need to talk about who's 15th on the point total list, bro. I think it's a little early to be talking about that.
Yeah, no, Jalen Brunson at 24. That's fine. That's whatever.
Here, let me read you guys a list that I got. Let me read you guys a list. I found this list.
Oh my god.
Donovan Mitchell 1, RJ Barrett 2.
I'm looking at NBA.com, guys.
What's that list? Max, could you tell us what that list is, buddy? What does it mean?
No,
it just says totals.
Yeah, guys, this is the top 15 players in the NBA right now. RJ Barrett's number 2. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander 4. LeBron is tied with Anthony Edwards 4.
Okay.
We got Jaylen Brown 6. OG
All
Anunoby
right.
7. 8th. Kelly Oubre 9th, and CJ McCollum 10th.
Okay.
Minutes per game?
Wait, no. Yeah, what do you think that list was sorted by? What do you think?
Minutes per game, right?
We have minutes. What do you think it is, Omar?
I think it's minutes.
Don't copy me.
It's fast break points per game.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Because I was thinking either minutes because fast break made sense.
Okay, so now that we're done making fun of me, can I please read the true list? Because I apologize, it was on totals.
But what is the true list now? Like, what is
this? This is per game. This is averages per game. All averages per game.
Of what? What are we averaging?
Point totals, rebound totals, everything. Everything is accounted for.
Okay, just read the list. Let's go.
Oh my god. Why is everything so complicated?
Just read it.
I am. Joel Embiid, number 1. Kevin Durant, number 2. Luka, number 3. Shea, number 4. De'Aaron, number 5. Steph, number 6. 7, Giannis. 8, Booker. 9, Donovan Mitchell. 10, Nikola Jokic. 11, Jason Tatum. 12, Cam Thomas. 13, Anthony Edwards. 14, Tyrese Maxey. And then Trae Young at 15.
My problem with this list, too, is they're just literally going off of averages. But some of these guys missed a lot of time.
Yeah, I know.
Like De'Aaron Fox, Cam Thomas. When's the last time Cam Thomas played? Like, what, 4 weeks ago?
Literally,
yeah. These numbers are really inflated because a lot of these guys haven't played games. Curry was out for at least, I think, a week and a half, maybe. Maybe that's a little bit dramatic, but he missed time. I know D Fox, he had that ankle thing. He missed some time. So, yeah, these numbers. That's why I don't like lists. They don't the context of these lists are terrible.
They don't do anything.
What knowledge, what insight did we gain by having here that list? What did that teach us? What's the point? Is there a point to that list, or are we just like naming fun NBA players?
And like, if we're going off of that, bro, like that's a terrible list. Like, if I'm thinking about like effective NBA players right now who are playing good, like where is a Tyrese Halliburton who's averaging 26 and 12 plus assists a game? 26 points with 12.5 assists a game is crazy. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I need to know what the list, like, what's the point of a list? Because I'm thinking about, top players right now.
I have another list. I want to see if you guys can guess what this one is sorted by. I'm going to read the top 10. Try and guess what this list is of. Okay. Number 1 on the list is KD. Number 2 is Isaiah Joe. Then we got Jay Crowder at number 3.
That's such a big differential.
Cameron Payne at 5.
I already got my answer.
Caruso 6. Grayson Allen 7th. Matt Ryan, the NBA player, not the quarterback, at 8. Jalen Brunson at 9. And then Malik Beasley at 10. What's this list?
Games played.
Okay.
I'm gonna say.
It has to be games played in minutes. Has to be.
I'm gonna say. I don't know.
Any guess?
I'm gonna say net rating.
Net rating? Okay. It's not one you would expect, but it kind of makes sense for some of these guys on the list. This is actually the league leaders in 3-point percentage this year.
Oh.
Currently, Durant is leading the league in 3-point percentage at 52.2. Isaiah Joe is at 51.8 for OKC.
Okay.
And Jay Crowder on Milwaukee. He's only played 9 games, but he's at 51.6% from 3. So we got 3 guys shooting over 50%. And then Doug, Campaign, Caruso, the rest of them, top 10 and 3. Dylan Brooks is actually 11th, which is wild, but yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. If anything, I feel like fun fact, Steph Curry's 23rd on this list behind Grant Williams.
That's crazy because
that is crazy.
Steph Curry's having a bad 3-point percentage this year. Trae Young is. A lot of guys who should be shooting a little bit better are shooting kind of terrible. Not gonna lie to you.
I'm gonna read a list. You guys guess what it is. All right.
Here we go. The list game.
Okay.
This
Number
should be a regular
one.
segment on our show, honestly.
This should be a regular segment on our show, making fun of stupid lists.
Yes, I support that. Okay. Go ahead, Omar.
We will. This will be the implementation. Offensive rebound percentage. I'm an idiot.
Omar, there's no way, bro. There's no way, dog.
That is our last segment for this episode. We're done with that. What's next?
Okay. Let me restart. I apologize.
We're done. Omar,
there's so many lists here. Just let me say it. I already found a random list. The
vibe is cooked, bro.
No, I already found the random list. I already found it. Okay.
We'll
Number one. Jalen Smith. Number 2, Nick Richards. Number 3, Dwight Powell. Number 4, Kaysen Wallace. Number 5, Jacob Poeltl. Number 6, Alex Caruso. What do you guys think this is?
We don't get more than that?
Steals per game.
I'm going to say
Or
second chance points.
Oh, no,
Total
it's not.
Second chance points.
It is effective field goal percentage. Jalen Smith at 80%, 80.7%. Nick Richards at 78.6%. Dwight Powell is 74.1%. Kaysen Wallace.
Paint cloggers.
Yeah.
We should know, man.
Kaysen Wallace being up there is impressive as a rookie. What is he? He's like
True.
4th?
Yes.
Here, I got a list for you guys. Okay, last one here.
Okay.
Yeah. Before we get into something giddy.
Now go ahead,
Julius Randle.
Worst NBA players.
Dang, you beat me, bro.
Most overrated players in the league.
Yeah.
I think Trae Young is number 1 on that list.
Okay.
No, I swear to God. I think it was like a thing of NBA players. They were given like the most overrated players in the league. I think it was about 49% Trae Young, and then it was like 39% Julius Randle.
Oh, I'm sure it was probably opposite, but
well, that's been our list game for the week, guys. Thank you to StatMuse for sponsoring this segment. Tune in next week to see who your StatMuse list of the week players will be, and comment down below if you want to see this segment continue in our next episode.
All right.
Next week we'll be playing Inflated or Not.
All right.
Where we go over Omar's stats that he.
It's time to get serious a little bit. Now it's come to the time of our show that we need to address the Josh Giddey allegations on what is going on over there. We are an NBA news podcast, and this is NBA news. I don't know what's going on, and I'm scared because Josh Giddey was a really good player, and it just seems like what is going on with this younger generation, because there's so much messed up stuff that's going on right now within the younger generation of the NBA. And it scares me. If anybody didn't know, Josh Giddey was accused of sleeping with a minor. Apparently she was 16 years old. there are numerous people, numerous reports saying that she was younger than 17 or younger than 16. I'm not sure. And there are some people coming out in defense to Josh Giddey in some of these parts because they're saying there's a possibility that she was also 17 because there was no emphasis on how old she was in anywhere of it being like recorded, right? And also now that we're finding out that this was about 2 years ago, while Josh Giddey was about 19 years old. So I wanna get your guys' stance on how you feel about this whole situation because it's sad to see a really good NBA player go down like this, but also we have to show that this is unacceptable on all counts. So what do you guys think?
I mean, I'm not gonna indict him this quickly just because it is still an ongoing investigation. There's nothing official. Obviously, the league is looking into it. I'm glad that they're launching an investigation. I mean, at the moment, though, these are just allegations. We don't have any hard, fast evidence. We don't have any hard, fast proof. So I'm just going to wait until we know the full story. I believe that the NBA will hopefully get to the bottom of this and will address this in an appropriate manner. As for right now, it is sad to see, like you said, Omar, these kind of allegations come out just to begin with. I hope they're not true for Josh Giddey's sake, for the Thunder's sake, for everybody's sake involved. It would be awesome if the NBA came out and said this was not true, she was older or whatever. Just they debunk it completely. It's fine. That would be the best case scenario. We can all agree that's what we're hoping to hear. But, obviously it's going to take time. They're going to come to a conclusion at some point, hopefully in the near future. But, I hope it's not true. That's all I can say. I hope it's not true. Josh Giddey is a fantastic player. Again, if there's no room for this kind of stuff if it is true, but I'm not saying it is true. I'm not saying it's not true. Right now, these are just, like you said, allegations, accusations, and hopefully we find out the truth. And hopefully the NBA will address it in an appropriate manner. Adam Silver, as we've talked about on the show, is starting to develop a little bit of reputation for not dealing with these sort of serious matters or serious off-the-court issues appropriately, and for not punishing players significantly enough for these kind of actions, for not making a clear statement that this kind of behavior is unacceptable. We've seen it with John Morant. We've seen it now with Miles Bridges, Kevin Porter Jr. There's been a lot of bad things that have been going on to some of the players in the young generation, or at least bad allegations made against them. Some of them have been proven true, like in the Miles Bridges case. But obviously we see now he's back and playing basketball. So I think this is, the NBA needs to really take a firm stance on this, again, if it is true. All I care about is hope, I hope it's not true. But if it is, hopefully the league will address it appropriately and really put their foot down, because I think this is something that they need to do. They need to make it clear that they're willing to punish these players. They're willing to make them pay the price for their actions, even if they're off the court actions, because the NBA still, these players are role models for younger generations. We need to be conscious about who the NBA is promoting, who the NBA is supporting, and what kind of actions, what kind of morals they represent. I think that is important. So we'll wait and see what happens. Sure, the NBA will come out with the results of their investigation hopefully soon. And yeah, we'll all kind of go from there.
Yeah. I think Max pretty much hit all the points that I'm about to, reflect on as well. But first I'll just start off by saying, I think we all agree here. I mean, like Max said, there's no place for this, man. There's no situation where anybody in general should be messing around with people well under their age. I'll just put it like that, just to spark note it. It just shouldn't be happening. I feel like once you get to a certain point in life, you're supposed to elevate yourself, not as a person, but as far as the conversation you're in, the people you're kind of hanging out with. When I left high school, bro, that was over. I don't even care. 1-2 year difference, boom, everybody there, whatever, unless it's a sibling or cousin, something like that. I'm not even fooling around with that. I'm not a guy who is they call them super seniors, who go up to all the school events afterwards and go hang out with all the kids and stuff like that.
That's weird. That is weird.
That's what I'm saying. It's just a weird vibe.
That is
weird. And like you guys said too, we don't have enough information. I feel like all we have online is just Twitter investigators. I'm with Max. I'm just gonna wait until we get a good amount of news on the situation, and then just get my full stance. But me as a person, obviously I don't agree with it. Like if it is true that he did that, then he should be punished. Like this should be the hammer to lay the example. Like this shouldn't be allowed at all. Period. Plain and simple. That's just how it should be. And for me, like even with this Josh Giddey situation, even if it wasn't what everybody thought, I think this is a good opportunity for Josh Giddey to just like lock in, bro. Like there's just certain levels to things like you have to do, bro. Like you shouldn't put yourself in these situations. I know, yeah, that people like, okay, maybe he didn't know or something like that, but like, bro, you gotta know. Like you have to have it in like just an idea of like age range. Like I get it. A lot of people just maybe I seen a lot of people saying, oh, people don't look the same age as they did back in the day. Well, bro, when you're an NBA player in general, like there's just different groups of people you should be hanging with, bro. Like, and even like some of the pictures and stuff like that, you can tell she looked like a little tiny bit younger. Like, I'm just saying, just off of basic looks. Obviously, I have no legit information, but
we're getting into. I want you to continue. Don't get me wrong, but I want to use viewer discretion because this may get a little vulgar while we talk about it, and just genuinely sometimes stuff like this makes people uncomfortable. So I just want to I want you to continue talking about it. Don't get me wrong, but I want to just put a viewer discretion before we continue.
Yeah, I'm just basically I'm about wrapping up.
Yeah,
I'm just saying,
of course.
Josh Giddey, you gotta be smarter, bro. Like, I just hope it's not one of those situations like Max said. The best case scenario could be from all sides that it was just a miscommunication. Things aren't what they're saying on social media, and that we'll move past this, and Thunder will grow. Josh Giddey will grow as a person, and we'll just move on. But we just got to see what happens. Honestly, I really don't have any like deep thoughts about the whole situation until we get more news. Like Max said, I don't know enough to give a conclusive evidence. All I know is what I believe in. Obviously, if she's underage, that's a terrible thing, and it just shouldn't be happening in general. No matter who you are or whatever, NBA player or not, shouldn't be happening. That's pretty much all I got to say about the situation. So
no, 100%.
See what happens.
100%. And it goes down to, and only because I want to put another viewer discretion here because this might get a little vulgar, and I want to also express that we support no types of this behavior whatsoever. But while looking into the city of Oklahoma and looking at laws when it comes to certain things, I saw that there was a law saying something along the lines of if there's a 2-year age gap between, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't have this in front of me, but if there's like a 2-year age difference, it comes down to, is this consensual or not? And what's being reported and what's being said is that at the time she was 17, he was 19. Because that's what's being alluded to right now. So again, I want to even if that was the case, I don't support that whatsoever. I want to put that in perspective. But I also want to put in perspective the fact that things that we stand for and things that we don't necessarily agree with, sometimes within the law, it's okay, unfortunately. And that's the case. So for Josh Giddey, I pray that this is not what it seems. I hope that, not that he was framed, but I hope that in some capacity, maybe this girl was lying about her age, so he can get off maybe a little bit easier. I don't know how to feel about that either, though. But I'm hoping it's not one of those situations that I just mentioned, because that just makes things a whole lot more complicated than it needs to be.
Yeah, it's just weird.
It is. No, it is. Yeah. No, 100%. It's weird. It's weird.
It's just,
no, that's weird. No, that's weird. 100%, and I agree. Max.
But yeah, we'll table this for now, but hopefully we'll hear some more definitive news shortly, and then I'm sure there'll probably be NBA action one way or the other taken on it. We can go from there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, I do agree. You guys got any, just to fill up the next couple minutes here, you guys have anything, any takes for the rest of the season? What do you think's going to happen? Do you think any trades will happen before the deadline? Anything like that?
It's not really a tape, right? It's just a shout out to the Orlando Magic and the OKC Thunder. I think by far the two kind of the feel good teams of the year, the nice upside teams. These are young teams that have been building for a while. Obviously, OKC feels like they've been rebuilding for like the past 85 years since Durant left. Or at least,
yeah, right.
It feels like they've been rebuilding for a while. And you know what? They're finally starting to see that pay off. Right now, they're tied for first in the West, which I don't think even they saw coming. Chet's playing amazing. SGA has continued to play amazing. I'm not as surprised by SGA because I feel like last year he cemented himself as a top 10 player in the league, but I am positively surprised with Chet. Jalen Williams has played well. He's injured right now. I know because I have him in fantasy, but he's had a good season. Lou Dort's doing his thing, you know. But yeah, the Thunder as a team have looked really good, and so have Orlando. I mean, if anything, a bigger shock than OKC because, you know, OKC was kind of being lauded a little bit in kind of the niche NBA circles of like maybe having a really good season, having a really good young core. Orlando is still kind of seen on that stepping ladder of like trying to take those steps that maybe OKC had already taken, but they've just shot up to the top of the East. I mean, you know, Paolo Banchero looks like a legitimate all-star candidate. Like that looks like a great number 1 overall pick that they made. He's a really solid player, bordering on a really great player. You know, you've got your Wendell Carters, you got your Jalen Suggs. He's finally playing well. I know Magic fans have been waiting for Jalen Suggs to pop off, and he's finally doing it. So I'm happy for them. Markelle Fultz is still there. He's out right now, I think, but like he's had himself a solid season. Franz Wagner, he's been flying under the radar the last couple of years. He's still playing really well. So just shout out to those teams. You know, those franchises, those fan bases have had a rough few years, but they're getting some wins. Is it going to keep up? Do I expect the Magic to be a top seed in the East? Probably not. Do I expect OKC to be a top seed in the West? Probably not. But you know what? They're getting their wins right now, and they proved us wrong so far. They can keep proving me wrong. You know what? When the Magic are the number 1 seed in the East at the end of the year, you can bookmark this and laugh at me, Orlando fans. But yeah, just shout out to those guys. They're winning some games. They're having good vibes. They're getting some national attention, which honestly they deserve because they're small market teams. They don't get talked about a lot, but they're turning heads right now, which is good for them.
Yeah, I agree with you, Max. I think both of those teams have been playing exceptional. I don't think a lot of people saw the Magic doing this. I will reflect on that little interview that went on social media, how I think it was Cole Anthony, Paulo, all those guys saying they wanted to be a legit playoff contending team this year. And so far, I mean, they've beat tough teams. They've handled the competition well. And, I mean, they put the beat down on us. They beat us by like 20-plus points. So they took our first win to heart, came back a week later, and just completely cooked us. So they're a team of hungry guys. We seen Jalen Suggs. After our game, he was crying. Like, he wanted that game bad. And next game we played him, he made sure he got that game. So they just got a really young core. They look great. And I think their development, all that tanking for those last couple of years is paying off. So shout out to them. Paulo's looking great once again. And the other team I'll throw out there too is the Pacers, man. I feel like the Pacers have been playing really well. Tyrese Halliburton's a guy who's averaging 25 points with 12-plus assists. Like something like seeing those assist numbers, that's something we don't see every day. Like averaging over 12 is kind of insane in my opinion. So they've been playing great. I think they went undefeated in the play-in tournament as well. Or maybe they were 4-1. I can't remember, 3-1, something like that. So shout out to them, man. They put on a show, and every time I see Tyrese Halliburton play, it's just crazy, man. He's got that push shot, but he wasn't gonna let anybody tell him to change it. Dropping buckets every single time. He makes plays look easy, getting his guys involved. We've seen Obi Toppin go over there, play like a great role player next to Tyrese Halliburton. Bruce Brown kind of fit in well and transitioned from the Nuggets championship team. So yeah, I think they've been playing really great. That's another team to highlight. And yeah, it's just there's not a lot of bad teams. Like when I turn on the game, there's not a lot of teams. Like a couple years ago, I was like, dang. Like a couple of years ago, I'm not turning on a game to watch the Pacers.
Yeah,
just a fact.
Yeah.
Now I'll actually turn on a game to watch the Knicks either.
Me neither. Yeah, I was just extremely discouraged.
This is the first year. It's like, okay, I'm gonna turn on a Pacers game to watch Tyrese Halliburton, like to watch the Pacers play, regardless of who they're playing. So shout out to them. They really turned that franchise around. So, hey.
Yeah. I had Indiana, remember, in my preseason predictions, I had Indiana taking the last play-in seed, like the 8th overall seed from Brooklyn. So, right now, I think that prediction, while it's not spot on, I predicted the Nets to be bad and the Pacers to be better than expected. So, right now, I'd say I'm winning that prediction. The Pacers is just such a weird team, man. They put up 150 points, but they also give up 150 points. It's so wacky. They just play no defense. but you get the ball in Tyrese Halliburton's hands, it's just instant offense. So they're definitely a fun team to watch. If you're not, unless you're like a defensive guru, if you're like a Tom Thibodeau type guy who like loves defense and loves like good team defense, Pacers don't do any of that. They just wait to get the ball and then start throwing lobs. They just hit threes. Buddy Hield's just out there dropping buckets. They're definitely a fun team to watch from like a casual perspective. Like you said, we're not turning on Pacers games 3-4 years ago, but we're turning them on right now. And my gosh, I just love Tyrese Halliburton as a player, man. So unselfish, such a great passer. Obviously gets his own points when he needs to, but he's such a team first guy, and he brings good vibes to a team. Like he's definitely I'd say he's one of my favorite players who aren't on the Knicks. Like just as a casual enjoyer of basketball, he plays the game the right way, and I love him for that. Good for Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah,
the thing too agree. Is, I made this point like probably like a month ago, maybe 2. Like this is one of those teams where I was like, dang, like if Paul George went back to this team, I feel like they'd be a really legit team. Like we talk about defense, Paul George is a great defender. He can. I'm not saying he's like a master teacher, but he can bring that type of energy, like get guys to buy into being a defensive team. Because if your defense somewhat catches up to that offense they're producing, 150 game, and you drop down your opponents about like right now they're scoring crazy. Maybe if you drop them down to like 115-ish range and your offense is still cooking, I mean that's arguably a playoff contending team. They got the centers, they got the shooters, Buddy Hield, they got Tyrese Halliburton, great young point guard. I think they're just missing that vet, and what better vet to bring back than hometown hero Paul George, who really was that team. Like he was that system, bro. Coming into that team, playing with that young core, I think it'll be amazing for basketball, bro. Just give up on the Clippers. I'm telling you, once the Clippers don't win this year again, I think he's gonna realize that there are probably better ways for me to like. Not saying his career is ending now, but better ways to like wind down my career path than staying on this Clippers team. I know what's his name is trying to sell the idea of this huge arena. Wins are just gonna magically come after we have our 2,000 toilets. But I mean, come on, bro. Like respectfully, Paul George, now is the perfect time for you to go back. And I'm telling you, bro, if you went back to that team, that is a legit team in my opinion.
You know, that's a good point, Earl. I never really thought about, I never considered Paul George went back to the Pacers. I guess like logistically, I don't know how possible it'd be because he's under contract and like the Clippers are bought in, they're all in. And I guess Indiana would probably have to trade some stuff for him. I doubt the Clippers would just give him up for nothing. But just in terms of like theoretically, like, let's say theoretically, Paul George could go out to this team. You're 100% right. That would be such an amazing fit. Like a starting lineup of like Halliburton, Buddy Hield, Paul George, either Obi Toppin or like Jerice Walker. Maybe in a year or two he progresses, and then Miles Turner. You could bring Bruce Brown off the bench, which is kind of like his traditional role, like 6-man role. You've got either Toppin or Jerice Walker in there as well. Jalen Smith. That could be a really nice team with Paul George to kind of anchor that. Give Tyrese like a 1-2 running mate, like just a pure isolation scorer and a bought-in legitimate defender. Because Buddy Hield can also play a little defense here and there. Miles Turner is obviously a great individual anchor at the center position. So you bring Paul George in there, that would be an insane fit. Again, don't know how possible that is, but that could be a legit team that makes some noise in the playoffs. And like you said, it would be cool to see PG go back there and wind his career down in Indiana where it started and probably make his deepest playoff run since Indiana.
Exactly.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Thank you to Max. Thank you to Earl. We're going to be on Spotify, on YouTube, as always, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your day.
Peace.